a gentle breeze, all the birds are making.
Hey my friends, and welcome to Marty's Garden. I just want to start off with that little intro as the theme song from the Marty's Garden channel here. And welcome to another exciting live show. I know it's been a while since you've seen me here live. Lots of things going on and super busy. If you've been following the vlogs through the week, you would know that, some amazing stuff going on. And I believe that this may just be one of the most important live shows that I've ever made. And I've said that before because the importance of this grows all the time as worm farming starts to take hold into this world, and for lots of good reasons. So, today is the most important time, I believe, in world history to start a worm farm. And if you're not worm farming already, then you need to expand on what you're doing. And today I'm going to help you talk about getting started or expanding into your worm farms and the reason to do it and why it's more important than ever before. Like, this is just crazy stuff, and I want to welcome some of the people that have arrived. I've done an early show here from Australia. It's now we started at 7, kicked off at 7:45, running a little bit late, so it's 7:50 a.m. In the morning. So welcome everyone that's come. I'm trying to get some overseas people to be able to reach this as well, and the Aussies, I know it's a bit early for you guys, but we'll work something out. We'll talk about that more as we go into the show. So, welcome from Texas, Adrian, US. Welcome, Adrian Galvin from Texas, USA. Awesome to have you here, mate. James Coates, good morning. Thank you. We got a few regulars turning up today. LP, hello everyone, Michigan, USA here. I missed the intro because I didn't push skip ad. Morning, mate. Don't worry about it. Just a bit of, the theme song. And it's good that you didn't skip that. A little bit extra money goes in the pocket here at Marty's Garden. So thank you very much for that. Just started work farming about 3 weeks ago. Awesome. Well, congrats for that, man. And awesome. Awesome to have you here. And hopefully we can help you with that some more. Now we're going to have a Q&A more towards the end. And it's going to be a little exciting one through the middle here. And I'm looking forward to... Hang on, I'm missing a couple here. Let's go back. LP. That's awesome, Agent. Congrats. Golden Genetics. I'm looking to getting started. Yeah, awesome. Right. That's so cool. And... I've been up since 6. Yeah, me too. I woke up even earlier than that. I think it's full moon at the moment. I don't sleep so good on the full moons. Green Leaf Gardening. Hello. Welcome to the show. And Louisiana. Golden from Louisiana, USA. Holden Genetics. Welcome, everyone. I'm still trying to get me groove on this morning. It is quite early. And, I just woke up and just gone, wow. Sunday is normally my day off. I've been working 6 days a week at the moment. Sunday is generally my day off, so you haven't seen me doing live shows for a while. But I thought I've got to get it out there. I've got to get the story out there. I've got to keep moving on. And you'll find, if you follow the vlogs, you'll learn more about the storyline of what's sort of going on behind the scenes, and then tips and tricks to help you with your worm farming and expanding that out. So, eventually that valuable compost that you're making, the vermicast, will become something that you will add to your plants. Now, why worm farming? Well, and why is it so important at the moment? Why is it just more important? Well, I think I've got my list here. So if you see me looking off to the left, I just don't want to make a mistake because I wanted to write down these bullet points. And what I think is, I know that what I've got to say further on, if you're really interested in the subject, will absolutely blow your mind. It's blowing mine. I'm at the moment because I was so close to giving this all away because it just wasn't getting any momentum. And now, after speaking with different people on council and speaking with local businesses and the way things are moving at the moment, like in the world and the whole lot, it's becoming more and more important than ever. So how do we get started? Well, first, the worms, they need a home, right? So we look at that. We need bedding and food. and a plant that, and then the plants need nutrition, right? And then the benefits, we're turning that waste that we're feeding into our farms into something valuable. And this is what I want to talk about a bit further on down the show, is what they call drawdown. Now, you've probably never heard of drawdown before, so hang on for that. This is how you can play a huge role, being just a small little house or an apartment or a little gardener or maybe a micro farmer, or you're starting up an urban farm, how you can actually become a part to help, be a part of helping this planet out big time and reap the rewards at the same time, because you're turning something that you've got around your house that's waste into something valuable. And it becomes a part of what we call the drawdown. And I'm going to mention that further on down the line. So let's have a look at the first part, is the housing, right? So we can use, let's get across to the next slide here. And we'll talk about this in a minute, this part here. But what we want to talk about is the housing, right? So you can use a DIY farm, foam boxes. You can buy 3-tiered systems, which they're the ones I recommend in the members area here. So there's a join button where you can learn all about worm farming using a 3-tiered system here on the channel. But we'll talk about that more further on down the line. And then, you need your bedding, so you can use like old cardboard, newspaper, shredded paper, things like that. Or you can take it even further and use a mushroom bedding. You can use the cocoa fiber bedding that you buy from the shops, or a cow manure bedding, or you can mix them all together and make your own beddings, and then you start feeding your waste to these amazing little creatures that then turn it into something that is just a powerhouse of nitrogen and microbes and micro and macro minerals that just can't be done in any other format. They have never found a way to synthesize this. Now, they have tried it. I've looked at some of the stuff on the shelves, and you see like it's a chemical fertilizer with microbes. Like, come on, man. Like, I guess it's better than nothing, but you're still putting a chemical fertilizer into the soil, which eventually, and they've proven, does kill the microbes in the soil. So I think they're just trying to, jump in on the bandwagon because they know it's coming, right? So that's the first thing. So we need some type of really good housing, and then we need really good bedding, and then we need to feed them, right? So the best type of food is what you've got lying around, that waste. And if you chop it up as small as you can to cover more surface area on the food, then what happens is you've got more bacteria space, and the worms come along and eat the microbe and the bacteria off the side of the food, skimming it, turning it down into their gizzard. There's a little stone there which helps process it, and then it becomes, sits in the gut and comes out with all these beautiful microbes. Now, animals and everything, we do the same thing. Our gut is full of all this stuff, and but the worms are just the best at it. They produce high microbes that plants need, and this is a part of what we call the drawdown. If you haven't heard of that, later we'll be talking about that coming through. So anyway, let's jump in here, and we've got a few more crew turned up, and so we've got Greenleaf Gardening is where we were at too, from Michigan, and saying a big hello. And Possums, morning Marty. Do you do a step-by-step beginner's video, Worm Cafe Farm? I do actually. It's in the members area in the level 3, and it's all broken down into 1 to 2 minute videos, and there's a whole series of them, and it shows you everything that you need to know, everything more than just setting up the worm farm, like the feeding, making, providing them the best way to keep all the pests away, making all your nutrients and things like that come through the liquids, setting up the bedding, setting up the stages of the steps, and then doing the harvest and turning it over again. And then we move into the intermediate stuff, things like that. So yeah, the level 3 in the join button on here, you can get access to all that. And also there is a worm farming ebook over at the Marty's Garden Buy Me a Coffee website page, and I've got all links down in the description down below for that. So highly recommended, and I'm going to talk about more about that coming on into the show. Right, Greenleaf, Michigan. Good evening, Igor. Nice to have you here. Simplified Gardening. Hey, matey. Sorry I'm late. Just got in from work. G'day, my friend. Awesome UK channel. Teaching some amazing stuff there. And if you want to learn how to grow food, man, this guy, Simplified Gardening, he's the one, he's the man. And I think you've got a composting book coming out, I believe. So maybe we can get you onto a live show, my friend, to talk about that, because this is a whole part of this drawdown thing of, actually, I'll give you a little hint about what the drawdown is. It's to do with carbon, right? And we're all worried about too much carbon in the atmosphere. But there are ways that we can help make a difference. So, yeah. I think we need to get you onto a live show, my friend, in the very near future. Here we go here. Greetings from Granada Hills, Los Angeles, California. Baroque Joe. It has microbes, but they are all dead. Lol. I think I've missed something there on which one has the microbes, but which are dead. Totally lost me. I'm just learning off my script here. And, yeah, let's keep rolling on, man. Let's keep rolling on. But I know you've got a book coming out, and I'm very interested about that because I want more people to learn about composting, right? What do you guys use for grit in your worm beds? I'm using powdered oyster shell, but I've had a hard time locating it. I have used pulverized eggs shells in the past as well. All right, guys. So what we're going to do is, when we get through my little spiel that we're talking about, and people that come on to watch the reruns, they're here to get this information, to learn. And so what we do is we have the Q&A more towards the end. So hold off your questions until a little bit longer. We're not too far to go. But I will answer that for you. Crush up your eggshells, my friend. Just get them into the microwave, 30 seconds or a minute or whatever. Clean eggshells. That dries them right out, and then just crush them somehow in a mortar and pestle or something into a powder, and that will do the job. See, there's the answer there, right there. I love this audience because they're always so helpful. Marty G. Hi, mate. There's another Marty there. Thanks, Marty. Yes, more than happy to come on and talk about it. Composting plays a vital role. Bigger than what we think, the world needs to make this change. And, we need to come up with words and concepts and things to push these things. So today we're going to be talking about the drawdown. And we're also going to be discussing, why are you worm farming? So I want you to think about that right now. Why are you worm farming? And then what I'm going to do is we're going to drag these comments across. But don't hand them out just yet. Just hang on just a minute. Think about it. Really think about it. I want your best answer. Why are you worm farming? That's unreal. I love it when people here get together and communicate inside this live show. It's a great space, and we're going to be working on getting in here more, but I want to talk about that more towards the end, and and really connect more with you guys. So let's keep it rolling. Let's get back to the script. So the benefits are, plants need the nutrition, right? Now, the best nutrition comes from putting carbon back into the soils and building the soil into what I call a soil profile or a water bank. So the soil profile is a soil that's building up slowly over time, and as this organic matter builds up and builds up and builds up, it stores more water, stores more carbon, stores more nutrients, stores more microbes, and gives back to the planet. It's planet's nature's recycler, right? Now, I've been saying this many years ago. People weren't listening, but now is the most important time in history to start understanding this. And what happening is the big global farms, some of the countries are starting to understand this, others aren't, unfortunately. So we need to, I'm just going to turn my microphone down a bit, snip in there a bit. So that should sound a little bit better. So what we need to do as a community, and as millions and billions of people around the world, just small little gardens and things like that, that impact is just absolutely massive, right? So we're working on that. We need to build our soils. And just by having a small worm farm, even in our backyard or our apartment or whatever, and you've got a little lawn and you're actually like just feeding the lawn with your recycled waste, you're actually helping with that drawdown, because what's happening is the carbon's going in through the leaves of the plants, it's going down into the subsoil, it's feeding the microbes down below, and when you're throwing worm casts onto your, say, your grass example, you're actually supplying more and more microbes. So you're building up this whole thing of photosynthesis going into the carbon and sending roots down, which become carbon roots and down, and all these microbes and everything, they're feeding off the sugars from the photosynthesis and the carbon structure, and everything needs carbon. I think we are about 6 to 8% carbon ourselves. We need this stuff, right? But there is a way that we can actually help, and by composting and worm farming, we can actually, like, we're taking this waste that would go off into landfills, and we're stopping all these gases and, you know, bad things going off into the atmosphere. We're locking it into something good, using it on our plants in our gardens, helping with the drawdown. So the drawdown is this whole microbial thing, you know, the photosynthesis with the plants, drawing down the sugars, putting the carbon back into the ground and locking it into the soil. And then what we've got to do, we've got to realize this now. I was arguing with homesteaders years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, about this. And, you know, like these guys that, you know, it just been the older, I don't mean to bag them out, this is not where I'm going, but they were tilling and they're going, and I just couldn't get it through their head that every time they tilled, they were killing the good bacteria and microbes and fungi and mycorrhizae in the soil and releasing back carbon that's been locked back into the ground that your soil needs, right? It's just so we just do light tills. You're digging down deep into these farms and garden beds and things. You're releasing this stuff back and you're killing it. You're basically creating what I call a blood and bone in the soil by killing all that stuff. And the plants will feed on that blood and bone. You've killed everything off in the soil by turning it over. And then once it's gone, it becomes hydrophobic. And then it becomes what we call desertification. Now, if you look it up, desertification, you would see that, look, Australia is just like one of the most prime examples of desertification, and we're losing our soils all around the globe, to a point where they're saying that it's catastrophic, right? And people don't realize it. So we've got to start getting this right. Anyway, there's my rant there. You need to know, drawdown. You are helping just by playing that small little role. So let's get back into here where we are. Big Bass Turd. That's a funny name. I just got to make sure that I don't lose where I am here. Okay. We're getting back to, just a coffee grinder to grind up those shells, man. That works a treat. So, and stop sending them off in the landfill, yeah. Marty G. Feeling a bit overwhelmed. Inherited a worm farm and compost, veggie garden and fruit orchard. Don't know anything about it, lol. Like I said, there's a link in the description. Just check that out. It's only it's less than a pizza a month or something like that. And you only need to go in there once if you want it, or you can stay in and become a part of this, which I highly recommend. And you'll learn everything that you need to know. It's all there. And then, go through and watch some of my videos and things, and you won't have any problem. It'll just simple step by step will remove all that overwhelm, and you'll turn that waste into something valuable, like I said before. Pinball Wizard. Actually, the link is in the chat box right at the top. I just forgot that. Yeah, it's in the chat box right at the top. Make it nice and easy. G'day, Pinball. Always watching my videos and saying g'day. Thanks, mate. Always nice to see you here. Greenleaf Gardening. Remember to keep with the thumbs up. Yeah, so we play this game where we like to keep the thumbs up rolling. And what happens is that we'll go back to this image here. Where I was. Sorry, guys. We need to talk about this image. Right, so the thumbs up. Bang, 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 bang. We always play this game. We need to have more thumbs up than people viewing. And if you haven't thumbed up, please do so already. It lets the YouTube algorithm know that the Marty's Garden show's on and people are enjoying it. and then more people roll in and learn about, the benefits of worm farming. And what we're talking about today is the drawdown of carbon through worm farming and composting. So yeah, let's keep up with a thumbs up, guys. Love to see that. And let me know how many thumbs up we've got right at the moment, please. I'd love to know. Tony, how you doing? It's unreal seeing everyone here. I'll just go through some of these questions. Guru. There's another guy named Permy Pete. He's trying to get on the show a bit more. Super busy guy. He's my go-to man for worm farming as well, and love the guy, and hopefully he's going to be coming on some more shows. We just need to get on this here now and go through these comments so we don't miss anyone. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so right, we're up to Marty G. Thanks, mate. Everyone's sort of moving through. Now, if you can see this image here, you're probably thinking, well, what am I doing there? Well, basically, what I am doing is this is a back of a mushroom, not a mushroom, this is the back of a cow pile, like a cow manure pile, and I'm catching worms from the back of where I've got my worm farms now, and there was quite a lot of stock actually that was just going to waste, and they were big, really big worms. And so if you haven't seen that video, go and check it out back in the channel where I go on a catch and discovery. You can catch all these big tigers, some of the biggest that I've ever seen. And basically, like anything that's sort of composting and breaking down, these guys will be there. They've just been around. I reckon they've been around us since we've ever known, because we've always been throwing out our human waste, and it's a part of our, like they don't seem to be around so much where humans aren't, these certain ones, especially the tiger. So yeah, that's what I'm doing there. I'm collecting lots of little compost worms to put into my worm farms, and build up stocks, because I want to build up. I've always had this dream of getting to 1 million worms, and I know that once I get there, then I can actually expand out and go where we need to really go to start making a big difference. And that is, building this interactive worm farm space up, which just come out in yesterday's video where I sort of talk about that dream of getting that going. And I'm going to need some help. I really am, to get that moving along. Now, we talk about the benefits again of worm farming. If you look here in this photo here, you'll see me, a big pile of worm cast. Now, that only just come out of a single tier. I can't remember if it was 2 tiers or 1 tier of the worm farm, but yeah, I just basically had harvested it and put it on top of the grid there and showing you what it is. Now, the photo is probably looking more at me, not showing you so much the pile, but you can see how much you get just out of one worm farm. And now you only need 10% mixed into your other potting mixes, into your soil, into your composts and things like that to get the best results from worm casts. Once you go over 10%, you're actually using more than you need. So it goes a very long way, and you can make your own liquid teas out of it that have no smell. You can make drenches with it, so you just put it into like a big container and just pour it straight over plants and things. The earlier you use it, the more microbial activity it has in it. You can dry it out to about halfway, and a lot of the microbes will become dormant as long as there's a bit of moisture there. Each worm cast has come passed through a worm's gut, holds microbes, has a little cell around the outside that expands and contracts and stores the moisture, and it slow releases for around about 6 months. So it's the best stuff on the planet. You just can't beat it, as far as this is my opinion. And anything that you use as a fertilizer, you can pass through a worm's gut, unless it's synthetic, and turn it at 10 times more powerful, up to 10 times more powerful than it already was, such as cow manure. It's full of microbes that go through the gut. And then it comes out 10 times more powerful than what it was after it released through the stomach. It is just amazing stuff. And basically why I've said it's the most important time, I believe, in world history to start a worm farm is we need to start understanding that that nitrogen is so valuable. They fought wars over it in the 1700s, and then selling guano, bat guano, and bird feces and stuff, and sailing thousands of kilometers with ships to mine this stuff and bring it back to the land, because they were degrading their land in Europe by tilling too much, right? And they were actually starting soil desertification. So they figured out, well, we throw in more bat guano, we build up the soil, and then we can and so they had to keep, it's like what we do now with chemical fertilizers. We're throwing out the chemical fertilizers, and we go, oh yeah, great plant growth. Then the soil goes backwards. And then, we've got to throw out more. Oh no, well, let's hit it with some chemicals. Now, if we go right back into plant history, after World War II, if you can look the man up, German guy, invented synthetic nitrogen. Guess what he invented next? Pesticides, right? Then so because he knew, smart fella, that this organic nitrogen was going to create problems, and then we need a solution to the problem, and we can sell people that. We'll make a shitload of money. And not getting into any brands or anything like that, I've got to be careful about what I say, but that's just the story to it. And then we've got a surplus of petroleum near the end. What do we do with that after World War II? Well, we turn that into synthetic fertilizer, and we create this biggest boom in farming in world history through synthetic fertilizers. And what happens? The soil just went, and it's been going into desertification ever since that time. Actually, it has since the beginning of heavy tilling, right? But it just accelerated with that. And by recycling our waste on site, big councils, small houses, farms, small businesses, and all these things, we're turning it into something valuable. We reverse it, we put it back on the land, we create drawdown, drawing that carbon back down into the land, storing it where it needs to be, where it's wanted to be. It actually wants to be there, it's where it's supposed to be, right? And we can play a really good part of that. So let's get back to where we're. Marty G, we're on the Marty G, thanks. And lots of people rolling through here. I don't like missing people if I can. Tilling soil is stuck in many minds. My father-in-law, who besides tilling is a good gardener, but does not fathom the idea of no-till, no gardening. I try to explain, but to no avail. Exactly the same thing, been going through that for the last 30 years or more about this. I was very blessed in my early days of studying agriculture. I had the best teachers in Australia up in the Byron Shire, Lismore College, where permaculture basically got us really as deep roots. Organic starting spreading out through Australia, and where teachers were actually farming organically. They weren't just professors just standing in front of you saying, this is what you do, this is how you do it. These guys were doing it, showing, and while I was at college, I was also working and managing an avocado farm, and been doing that off and on for a very long time, and saw the benefits right from the start of how we need to do this. And yeah, I battled with farmers for years and years, but it's the people that are moving on, it's the younger guys that are the next generation that are listening, and they're starting to get it, right? They're starting to really get it. We just get set in our ways too much, and the changes need to be done. Simplify gardening, a great way to collect tiger worms for your own worm farm. Yeah, it really is, man. This will be my third year worm farming. I do so as a means to upcycle my food waste and provide nutrients and organic matter for my garden beds. This year I'm also going to make a worm tea. Yeah, awesome. So let me know, guys, why are you worm farming? We want to know. We want to share this with the people that are watching the reruns and things, and people that are coming in and just really interested in why should they be doing it too? Really, why should they be doing it, and why do you do it? Let's answer that question. Holden Genetics. I'm a 5th generation farmer. This is my first year getting into no-till. I still have my fields. This is different. Yeah, so from an agricultural, horticultural background, you create as much biodiversity in your soil as you can, so you're not monocropping. And by doing that, having a range of grasses and things, depending on what you're growing, obviously. If you're a cattle farmer, then you would have lots of different types of grasses that they're feeding on, and that produces a higher biodiversity. So think biodiversity as much as you can, and then balance it and do your research on it, and you'll find that it'll really start working for you. Thinking about building your soils and not feeding the plants. So feed the soil, don't feed the plants, and yeah, things will change for you. I'd love seeing a time-lapse video of Marty counting 1 million worms. 1, 2, we have to speed it up to 1,000 times. This is very true. Make worm casting tea. It'll really boost the fertility. You can also do a drench through the worm farm. I call it a tea sort of in the course. That's in the join button here. You'll see the little button at the top of the chat there or in the description. Yeah, so if you basically build the worm farms the way that I show you and you're pouring the water through, you're creating a drench, right? Some people call it a leachate. It's not really a leachate, it's a drench. You're pouring the water through, you're catching all that water at once, and the worm actually has good bacteria around the outside of the skin, and when the water hits it, that bacteria also disperses into the water. And if you've got a lot of oxygen in it, you're putting it back through, so you're creating this loop as well. And that's just some new science that's been coming out of Australia now about drenching, and it's not really shared much online. I found it's been working for me for years. I could never explain why it was working, and now we know. It's because the worm holds some type of bacteria on the outside of the skin. How long did it take to get that amount of castings? So a worm farm generally takes around about anywhere from 6 weeks to 3 months, depending on the time of year, how many worms you've got, what you're feeding them, things like that. But generally, you'd want to be harvesting minimum every 3 months. If you're doing a really good productive worm farm, you can be harvesting every 6 weeks. I do between that 6 weeks to 3 months. Summertime, spring, autumn, I'm doing every 6 weeks. Then winter would probably be a 3-month period. Road to disaster. Yeah, love that guy. Not. To get the same nutritional value out of food, just like before the Second World War, you would have to eat 0 times as much. Yeah, man. It's scary stuff, right? And so by producing our composts and our worm castings and getting this stuff back into the soils, we're actually providing more nutrition for ourselves. And yeah, you've hit the nail on the head here. My grandfather taught me to start at the age of 7. I'm now 47 in 2 days. Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Where have we got the birthday song here? That's about the best we got for a birthday song. We could have a DJ air horn and an applause. Happy birthday to you in 2 days. Thanks, man. Yeah, look, a long time too. You know, it's funny that you say that because I look back at my history as well, and I probably started at around about 7 years of age as well. I was mowing lawns at 10 and weeding gardens at 10. I was an entrepreneur right from the very beginning, having my own garden run and stuff. My parents didn't have much money, so I had to work. You know, I wanted skateboards, I wanted T-shirts, I wanted these things. I had to pay for it, so I had to work. You know, that was just, and I learned by working, doing something that I love. But anyway, let's not get off topic too much. I want to know why you're worm farming and why you think others should start worm farming. You know, let me know. Let's get this conversation going, and then we'll keep talking about other things like the benefits of it and discuss these. And you can also move into Q&A as well. If you've got any questions about worm farming, I'm happy to answer them now. We generally run these live shows for about an hour. They can go a little bit longer at times if they're really rolling along. Now, I can see we've got 23 people watching, 25 thumbs up. Thank you so much for your thumbs up. If you haven't thumbed up, please do so now. We'd like to get that action going, showing YouTube that Marty's Garden is live and we're talking about worm farming. The most important time in world history to start a worm farm, right? Let's keep rolling here. Let's keep rolling. Cool climate, tropical fruits. I'll be doing my yearly castings harvest soon. I use it with all my potted trees as well as Big Boost. It reduces soil deficiency. Well, congratulations on doing the harvest and in the potted trees. Yeah, they'll get like that. all the nutrition that comes out of it, and be locked in there for nearly 6 months. And definitely, if you've been feeding your worms a wide array of food, then you'll have the micro and macronutrients in there. And I just recommend using like a worm tea or a drench, like which I like to call it now. I'm moving away from the word leachate. It's actually a drench, and you drench it from the liquid coming out of your worm farm just after you've poured it through the farm. And that way the plants can uptake those nutrients and those microbes straight away. To bolster the microbiology that goes with my compost, to add with my soil. Yeah, perfect, unreal. That is so cool. And if we're doing sort of things separately, it's a great way to do it. Remember I said around about 10% is what the soil scientists are saying. James Coates, I worm farm to grow organic and healthy plants and food for my family. So it's so important to realise that if we move away from synthetics and we don't support these companies that are chemical farming as much, and we take more control of our own food ourselves, of what we purchase as well, we can really start making a difference, purchasing power and becoming more efficient through our worm farming and composting and growing and gardening at home. So thanks for sharing that, James. Really appreciate that. That's just awesome. What I'd like to say now is that I'm actually like working on a space where I want to build up like more interactive worm farm space for people can come on site. They can look at that through maybe schools visiting, local, like gardening clubs can come down. People can arrange appointments to discuss with me, and they can also purchase some of my compost and worm castings and things like that. And then we can run the live shows from this space, and also so set up a studio and things like that. So at the moment I'm running the live show from home, not where I work, and connect this all together and really start making a big difference. But the thing is, what I do and everything that I do here is very super low income. I know that it will increase over time, but the way you guys can help me get there is by going to the Buy Me a Coffee page there. You can buy me a coffee, or even better, there's like a members area there. You can do that and support me that way. So it gives me, when I've got monthly, I understand like what's coming through monthly, it helps me, later on in the future be able to go to banks and things like that, because we need to look at having our own space. At the moment I rent here in this place, and then I've got a barter deal going on where I have the space for the new composting system and worm farming, and it doesn't give us, there's not the security there that it needs. And I would like to actually, just going to speak with my representative who's helped me oversee the Marty's Garden channel and my business now, and he works for Nortec, an Australian business advisor, setting up a company. So we can buy a space, set it up, and members and things like that, people want to be involved. Like I've got companies sponsoring worm farms and things like that now, so people might be able to sponsor sections from from the community, and then maybe we can create shares and things like that where you actually own a part of it. But I've got to really do a lot of work and research on it. But to get it started, it's just got to start at the base somewhere, right? Now I've come back and said I was giving up. I'd had enough. It just wasn't, I wasn't getting ahead. I'm going to have this problem in the future of housing. I'm going to be homeless. That's the basic truth to it. Just not really making enough money with the way things with inflation, everything's going. And so unfortunately, I wasn't born into wealth. If I was, I'd be doing this anyway and buying the place on my own. So I think I need to really look at structuring that and making that happen, where this is really going to get solid, because I do believe it is the most important time in world history to make this change now and get out this education. And, who knows where something like that, education like that, could expand to. It could just be absolutely just amazing, and it could be and a world first. So, it really is mind-blowing stuff, and I'm thinking, am I getting myself into too much strife doing that? But what we can do is we don't have to grow it big fast. We can just do it small, and just as long as there's growth, then I'll keep on going. If for some reason there's no growth, now I understand I've got to put in the work to make this growth happen. But if you can become a member in here, in this website, in the YouTube here, and there's a join button, and there's also a button here you'll see in the chat box. Become a level 3 member, and that way it costs about $15 a month, and YouTube take 30%, unfortunately, but that the rest will go to me monthly into my YouTube as part of my YouTube payments. So you can do it 2 ways, through the Buy Me a Coffee members area, or if you want to access all the content inside here, then do it in the membership area. It'll really help, guys, and to be honest, it'll keep the channel alive and going. Unfortunately, I wasn't born into wealth, but we're getting there, right? So let's keep moving along here. Hey, Marty, just popping in before I go to work. Well, welcome, Candy Crush Addict. I know you're a big advocate for worm farming and doing a lot at your place. So just welcome. Thanks for dropping in just quickly. LP, in addition to watering new seedlings with worm tea, I'll add castings to my garden beds when I transplant. Yeah, so awesome. So if you're putting in around just some little bits around the roots, you'll protect your plants from the nasty nematodes that attack roots. We know that they protect the root zones, and they also feed that good bacteria around to help the process of the photosynthesis and the drawdown. So that carbon getting locked into the soils is where we want it to be. So we can start drawing carbon out of the atmosphere, because we've got this massive load in there, right? And I can't remember what they call it now, something load. And it's scary stuff. And even if you don't believe in climate change, then it doesn't really matter. We just want to make a cleaner planet, right? LP, loads of ways to benefit the garden and sequester carbon. Doesn't have to be outdoors. You could use a bokashi or something similar. So this is what I love about this, is just, let's get that, let's lock away that carbon. Candy Crush Addict, why are my worms in the compost pile so much fatter and juicier than the ones in my hungry bin? There's more space. So when there's more space for worms, they grow bigger. The more confined they are, and you've got lots of them, they just don't grow as big. Like I was saying, when you go back to this picture here, this one, some of the biggest tiger worms I've ever seen in my life. They're absolutely huge, and they almost look like a nightcrawler, and lots of space, right? So yeah, that's the main reason. So if there's lots of little small ones, you probably need to start another worm farm and build up, because the big ones, they want to escape and let the little ones live and start breeding on, and they just stop breeding. They just grow. You just get lots and lots of little small ones, and they'll eat a lot. So yeah, you've got to get your big ones bigger, more space. So an underground worm farm or another worm farm, or whacking another tier on top helps. But a hungry bin, I'd be more inclined to maybe start an underground worm farm, something like that, and start releasing them into the garden. And we've got in the course I was talking about, the level 3 worm wranglers, there's a full underground worm farm builder out in above raised bed. So, and the best way to do it, and it's been working for years. We've had that video out for maybe a year and a half now, and it's going like gangbusters on that place. It's a great way to fertilize your garden and to keep using up your waste. So that's a great question. 20 times. And maybe you're answering something else here. And another happy birthday. We'll keep rolling through these ones. And I actually worked as a gardener in Canberra for 2 years in '93 when I was travelling. Oh, you're right. Yeah, we've got, there's someone in here. Cool Climate Tropical Fruits. He's in Canberra. And yeah, great guy. Also a really cool channel. If you're interested in that sort of thing, go and check it out as well. Yeah, I do from time to time. And Jess Bridges, now that I live in a condominium, I just felt guilty about all the food waste and junk mail waste that I had nowhere to put it. But now I have a worm farm and I give away my compost at church. Yeah, brilliant. So you can give away compost, you can give away extra worms, pass on your knowledge that you build over time, and we can start working on ways of just locking down that carbon turning our waste into something valuable, stopping it from going out into landfills, and then growing more, moving away from synthetic food. There's just too many wins in this. I just don't know why it isn't bigger than it is. But it's been stable for so long, just on this single platform. It almost started going down for a while, worm farming. I got a bit worried about that. But now the world's transitioning and starting to make an understand and getting more educated on this subject. We really are starting to make a difference. And so now really, with this whole carbon problem and everything, like Australia, like we just had like a major drought, gnarly bushfires. I had a flood here last year. A lot of people don't know because it wasn't on the news, but a lot of my friends lost their houses here. And then this year we had another world record floods on the east coast of Australia. It just missed us. We had these two bands and we sat right in the middle and we got rain, but nearly flooded here again 2 years in a row. It would have been just devastating to see 2 years in a row. But, if the science is right and they're right, because, I don't want to go against this. I'm not a scientist, right? But I just observe what I see and I just want to start making a difference. And by doing this, just having this channel, getting this education out here and helping others, I feel like I'm playing my role. And then you guys, just by coming here and supporting the channel, supporting me, watching the videos, becoming a member, doing the buy me a coffee thing or grabbing the ebook, stuff like that, you're all helping support this channel to actually make a difference. And, it's as you can see, I'm super passionate, and you'll know just by watching a lot of my videos that I'm not full of crap. I'm actually, I'm the real deal. Anyway, here we go. Let's keep going on. LP. Thanks, Simplify Gardening. No doubt, I've got 6 worm bins in my basement now and 3 trash bins outside for outdoor compost. I also mulch my beds in the fall, chop and drop. Yeah, absolutely awesome. Like I said, you need to go and check out Simplify Gardening, the channel there. He put out a recent video about potatoes. Now, I've never grown potatoes myself, but I went through the video and saw these pots, and I'm into that small space sort of thing, and very, very doable. And I reckon, mate, the potatoes would just taste absolutely brilliant. But anyway, there's a bit of a plug for my friend here, and like I said, he's got a great channel. You need to go and check it out if you haven't already. With what is happening in the world, I think it's going to get a massive influx of people, mate. I really believe so too. It's about time, and like I said, it's the most important time of the world's history to do this. We've been going since the 1700s. We should have been doing it instead of farming and fighting and losing lives and spending all this time getting back guano from the South American islands, things like that. And where, did you know that the Americans, when after this was happening, they saw that some of the Europeans were going in and taking it. They said, if any American finds an island around South America and it's full of bat guano, you can claim it in the name of America. That's how important nitrogen was, right? And right under our belts the whole time, we've had compost worms and waste. Our whole lives, ever since man began, we've had waste, right? So just think about it, food for thought, right? Let's keep rolling through these. How cool is this? I've just started my grow journey and my search led me here. Well, unreal, and welcome to this world. It's a great world, and I'm sure you're going to just love it the more and more you do it. Jess Bridges, LP. Now, I have a very shady patio. I've sprouted a few wild persimmon saplings. That's about it. Okay, let's keep rolling. 2020 caused a lot of people to start their own YouTube channels and share what they're doing. I think that through these means, more and more people are going to want to garden as well. What I found is we had a big spike around the COVID period where, like, even for me, I was selling a lot more compost. My compost sales have gone right down because people don't have as much free time now. I think that's a part of it as well. There were certain amounts of people that were scared that they, were going to have to be more self-sufficient. Now, it was only a couple of weeks ago that I was on the shelves looking at, there was a lot of stuff still bare in my supermarket. I was like, wow. and COVID problems. And then now we've got this issue with gasoline being so expensive, like $2.20 I paid a litre the other day. I know it's hurting everyone, and it's going to rise inflation up. Inflation's going to be, all this food is going to be trucked around. It's going to get more expensive. So we need to start growing it more. We need to become more self-sufficient, and we need to understand about why this is so important right now. So yeah, LP, I think that we got big changes on the way. Everyone's saying, g'day, okay, gotcha. Jess, good for you doing what you do. I used to rent a plot before I had my own space, so worth it. Look, I really got to work out a way to get this space. Basically, I've got a couple more years current at school. My whole world changes from then, and I need to have this ready. So really, there's a 2-year window where I'd like to be in my own space. We have the company set up with this worm farming, like interactive worm farming space and composting. And we could even move into other things based around self-sufficiency, and even, where a little bit of everything's sort of run by these off-grid systems, right? So everything's going to change, and I'm just hoping that, we can get there. I'm getting a little bit lost for words because I know how it's going to be. It's not going to be an easy slog. I think people are becoming more educated now with people like you and me pushing the agenda against chemicals. Yeah, definitely. Like, we're lucky we've got this online world that, there's obviously others out there. We're just YouTubers. There's other influencers out there as well. I shouldn't say just YouTubers. We are YouTubers. And, I know there's others like Masilla from Learn to Grow. She's a big advocate in organics as well. She's in the States, you're in the UK, I'm in Australia. Maybe we need to get this 3-way live show going one day, and that would be really cool. Australia, UK, and the States all at once. I know that she's big into worm farming as well, and creating her own organic fertilizers. Now, if we look at this image on what I pulled up before, and I haven't spoken about it yet, you can see all those worms, right? And that's what we're talking about. This is the material that we want to have. And that one handful there would go into a giant pot. And a big pot, we're thinking if that's, say, a litre there, well, not giant, we'd have a 10-litre container, and that would be enough nutrients for that plant, especially if you have it in a compost. They just do so well. And those guys will breed, lay cocoons, and you can, every 3 months, you can double up. So say if you've got a really good farm going, you've got 1,000 worms in 3 months, you could possibly have 3,000, right? And then 3 months again, 6,000. And then 3 months again, 12,000. Now, it doesn't work exactly like that, but they do actually expand really quickly in a healthy environment. So let's keep moving forward here. I just got a quick Q&A from James Coates. How do you sieve out worm castings to pull out worms? I've been doing it by hand. It's a very long process. James, it is a long process, but there is a way to do it. And this is something that I put only in the members area. It's available, the link's available in the chat. And you'll find once you become a member, you join the level 3, you'll get access to all those videos. You can find them on the channel, and if you have any problems with that, just let me know via a comment or something, and I'll send another link, and it gives you access to all the videos, and it just shows you everything about worm farming from beginners to intermediate. We're going right into advanced stuff, and it shows you that exact process of getting them out, harvesting them really easily using the professional methods. It actually was taught to me by Permy Pete, and your life will never change. But it's one thing that I don't put in here in the freebies, because I've got to have that material in the members area, because otherwise Marty's garden, it just won't survive. So I hope you understand that. Jess Bridges, super sticker. Let's go. We always do this with the super sticker. The fake crowd. Thank you, fake crowd. Thank you, Jess Bridges, for the super sticker. $4.99 from Jess Bridges, character holding their head in their hands, saying incredible. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it, and I'd like to really sort of get that going forward. It says here the membership's not working. It should be working. Maybe there might be an issue with the link. Let me go through and I'll sort out that link. Have a look. If you could have a look for me in the link, in the description, someone there, because I put the link in the chat, in the box, the chat box there. Maybe it doesn't work through that. Let me know if the link's working in the description, please. Thank you so much for that, and thank you, Jess Bridges, for that. I really appreciate it. I'd really like to know. It's just the level 3 link isn't working. Okay, so please, someone just go down and check in the description, see if that's working, and let me know. It should be working. That's a real bummer if it's not right at the moment, but it has been working and up until now. We had some new members come in this month. So yeah, Simplify Gardening, just become a member. Yeah, so did it work? Yeah, just let me know. That could be really cool. And like I said, there's 2 different ones. You can actually go into the Buy Me a Coffee. That actually, like, Buy Me a Coffee page, there's a membership area there, and they only take 5% or something like that, and I get a little bit taken out through the transaction. So I do much better through that. But if you're after the video content, the level 3 membership place is the place to be. So at the moment, I know it's a bit weird having 2 spots, but that's just the way it is at the moment, why I sort of tidy it up. So let me know, please, guys, while you're watching this, how that's all working for you. The whole thing is really working on these membership areas and getting these going so I can get an understanding of my monthly income coming through, so we can totally go for it and make this change towards building up this interactive space. Bonnie's Worm Farm and Garden, awesome content. So I just subbed, and thank you so much. And is that a super chat? That is a super chat. We've got the applause here. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's my little fake crowd that just hangs in the background, because, you know, we're just filming from home here, and it feels good to sort of have a bit of an audience. And so thanks so much, Bonnie's Worm Farm and Garden. Just absolutely appreciate it. Hello all worm farm people. We've got to build up these people and let them know how important this is. So you can share any of my videos and things like that. Let people know about the membership area and learning about all these things, and really start making a change. We really know, I really need to start pushing this concept about the waste not going out into landfill as much, making a change so we can grow our own organic food and not have to go to the shop and buy all these fertilizers and things and amendments. We can do it all ourselves on site and turning our waste into something valuable. So, yeah, all that sequestered carbon absorbs water and rather than sheds it. Cheers, Marty. Yeah, awesome. Guys, let me know if that links, if there's an issue with the link. I'll have to go and fix it at the end of this video. If I go and fix it now, everyone's going to bail because it's going to take too long maybe to fix it. But we've got 21 people watching, 34 thumbs up. We've been running for an hour now. I'm going to have a little drink. We'll keep on rolling because the show is absolutely cranking today. Lots of cool people here come to watch. And there's so much, the information that's coming out of here is just gold today. These conversations have me wanting to ask my city council if they're looking into any food waste collection. If more cities did it, imagine how better off we would be. Well, I just spoke with a local council. I mentioned that in the video yesterday. And 2030 in Australia, no homes are going to have organic waste going out to landfill, and no businesses are going to have organic waste going out into landfill. I think that's going to be Australia-wide. And, yeah, these are the new laws that are passing out. And so we can start moving forward with that. And there's also business ventures that would become a part of this. And I had someone else ring me, so I've been in the newspaper as well regarding this. They're consultants, and they're going around to different places consulting how to remove and work with their wastes, but they don't actually. The only thing is they said, yeah, you do this with your waste, you can do this, and people cut down their waste in their restaurants and things. But they don't have anything in the solution where they go, oh, we can take away the excess stuff. And that's where the problem needs to be solved, is the excess that's getting taken away from these restaurants and things. I take away some coffee grounds, but I can't do that all the time. If I'm going to work on this more, it takes up a fair bit of my time picking up coffee grounds. So maybe that will have to change. But we keep pushing it and keep doing the best we can. At the moment, I'm taking out about 250 litres of coffee grounds a week. So I'm doing what we can at the moment. I believe there'll be an increase in backyard gardening. So many in my neighbourhood are buying chickens. Wow, that is really cool. And chickens play a huge role. And man, they are an important animal. And they used to be in people's backyards all around the world. And they were used as recyclers to clean up waste. You used to throw your waste out from after the kitchen, they call it the kitchen scraps, and the chickens would eat it all up. And the time before we started doing, say for example, when we talked about the chemical fertilizer revolution, you know what? Chickens weren't fed all those grains and all those things. And just look back in the history of it, right? We're just told now that you got to feed them all this stuff and all this stuff. But before, they mightn't have been as big as fat and things like that, but they did all right. And I tell you what, people argue with me about this, but I've lived a lot of time in Asia, and I travelled Asia for many years before I lived there, and I saw chickens everywhere. And I tell you what, those people, some of them only can afford to live. They ain't feeding their chickens anything else, and they didn't even have chicken sheds. They just used to roost on the roof, things like that. My grandfather had chickens, and he used to chop their head off, and he'd tie them to the clothesline and run around and stuff like that. Oh man, tell you what, it'd give a kid nightmares. But they were poor, and so chickens were a part of and you had the big vegetable gardens. Everything was organic. They couldn't even afford to buy amendments. My grandfather, we used to call him Pop. He was. This is a bit sad, but I'm pretty sure he was a part of the Australian thing where they took the Aboriginal half-caste kids away and put them into churches and things like that. And it's really sad. And, there's a possibility that, that's part of my heritage and things. And I just look back at all that and, yeah, anyway, I'm getting a bit lost for words. But we need to go back to those times and think about those times of when we actually didn't have all these things, and we actually used what was on site to recycle stuff to keep on living. So simplifying things really is important. It's amazing that how dull we are until someone educates us up. It's so true, and if we just come to spaces like this, and now like my friend's channel here as well, you can learn so much. And really educate yourself really quickly. And so thank goodness for the internet, right? If we all grew at least some of our own food, we as households would be happier and more connected to our world, as well as our own towns could be better. Yeah, I find if I get really time poor, I just get into growing more microgreens. And, like at the moment we're going into autumn, so I'm growing more microgreens and baby leaves and lettuces and things, making up salads to go on the sides of my meals when I'm making them. And that ends up being about 30% of my plate. Even sometimes it can be 50% of my plate. So, yeah, it's not that hard to do once we get rolling. And, a lot of that's done through, just through worm farming. Plant obsessed. How regulated is worm farming in Australia? Here in the US, we have to have a permit if we are going to sell. I don't know. I don't think it's regulated at all. As of yet, we're so far behind here in Australia in so many ways. In some ways, it'd be good if it was regulated, then maybe it would push more forward. They don't even teach this in universities or anything like that yet. It's, so sad. When I was in college, you didn't really hear about it much, either than composting and a little bit, we just covered a small topic of it. It wasn't until I stumbled across, looking for organic material, that I stumbled across a worm farmer near where I lived, and then it just went, boom, I got to do this. All right, It's so exciting to see others do things. I'm in the US, but I love learning from others. Well, we're a global community these days, and yeah, we need to keep moving forward. $1.95 here at the moment. So what I'm looking at is the link for the not in the Buy Me a Coffee page, but in the page that's for the join button. I put a little chat box there for the level 3, and also down in the information. So down in the chat, not the chat box, in the description, if that link's working down in there, that would be good to know. Okay, there's been a ton of recalls on greens, which is not only scary but annoying. I finally got an aero garden countertop hydroponic system to supplement my outdoor beds. Well, I think that's really great. I think, things like, like hydroponics and stuff. I have one hydroponic tower that, if you watch some of my old videos from maybe 6 months ago or whatever, it's out there running at the moment. And I grow some of my stuff some of my greens on that. And what I find is that I don't have to travel to and from if I don't have time. I can still harvest some rocket. I've got rocket growing in it at the moment. I've got some microgreens growing in it at the moment. And I've got some garlic chives in there, and also some giant red mustard. And I can just go and go bang, 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 harvesting quick. And then I've got other microgreens growing in my own compost and things like that. And I can just harvest real quick. And then I'm watering them with the worm tea and stuff. And so in and out harvesting real fast. And I call that my ABC system. I think I maybe need to put that in the members area. Or it may be in there, and I've got to double check, and I haven't done it before. But A's are the microgreens, your B's, your leafy greens, and then the C is your end crop, your mature crop. So it's a fast way to grow food really efficiently. That's $3.46 US. Are we talking? Lost me a bit here. Maybe you guys are chatting amongst each other and I'm losing track here. We can all learn so much from each other no matter where we are. I'm in Michigan, USA. Yeah, that's right. International communities, we can learn from each other. And that's one of the reasons why I do these live shows, to connect everyone, because the information that comes from you guys as well is super valuable to share with amongst each other in these chats. Bonnie's Worm Farm and Garden, plant obsidian. What about selling the compost? So glad you posted permit requirements, although I'm doing mine for personal use only. Well, I sell compost. That's what I do as part of my living. And if you watch my show, I'm starting to lose my voice, so let me have a drink. Okay, so if you watch my show here, my vlogs, you'll see my whole space that I've got now, and we're turning it slowly into an interactive space where we can do workshops and film more and things like that. And eventually we've got to move into somewhere where it's permanent. And it's maybe, like I said, I don't know if I can afford a place like that, so I'd probably have to form some type of company, and where the company owns that space. But we'll work on that. Bonnie's Worm Farm and Garden, I agree. I'm currently in Zone 8, but born and raised in Ohio. G'day, Andrew. Set it up, Marty. Yeah, look, I'm going to go for it. I just got to start talking with business partners and things, and really reach out to the community more. And like I said, it starts at the base of building up this, the space here, from the Buy Me a Coffee, where people can go in and donate as well for Buy Me a Coffee, and they can join the members area, or they can access the join button here and become a part of the membership and get all that content going through. I think what I might do is then run it all from the Marty's Garden website, maybe, where you can just connect through and things like that. I've got to find a way to connecting it all together, so it's just much more of a smoother, easier experience. All right, so here we go. Linoleum. Hopefully I got your name pronounced right. How to best harvest worms out of my composter. It's the same way that I teach it in the tiered worm farms. If you want to harvest the worms quickly and efficiently, there's a link in the description, and check it out. Do the level 3, and you can go through there, and it's got everything that you need to do. It's just something that I don't teach in the free stuff. It's all available in the paid area, which is very, very cheap anyway. Cheaper than a pizza. Super sticker, $5 from Andrew says, pair character lying on the side, raising his arm while saying, how's it going? Awesome. Thank you so much. We're going to have an applause from our artificial crowd at the back here. A lot of fake kids that love to love. And thank you so much. We've done really well from super stickers and super chats today. So thank you so much, everyone that's done that today and in the past and actually supported Marty's Garden in all different ways. I do thank you very much. I'm super grateful that I'm able to stay here online and stay alive at this current moment. Just got to stay focused, stay on track. And like I was saying, it's the most important time in world history to start a worm farm now, more so than others. Unless we look back at the 1700s and started right back from instead of farming bat guano and started farming worms, we would have been much better off. The planet would be a whole different space and place if we were trapping that carbon into the soil. But unfortunately, it hasn't gone that way, and we just need to start making a difference now. Okay, very nice. Helpful Gardening Community on YouTube. Would love to listen to watch that chat, Marty, at Simplify Gardening. Yeah. I think it's going to happen. Well, I'd say it's going to happen. We just got to organise a time, right? That's not too hard for us to do, is it, my friend? I'm sure that can happen. Bonnie for Worm Farm Compost from Plant. Hey, right, slow down. I need to slow down. Plant Obsessed. Bonnie for Worm Farm Compost. It depends on what you call it. If you make claims it is good for something, you have to have it tested. I use all mine as I have a huge garden. So as far as going and getting it tested, all you got to do is grow stuff with it, right? And then you see the results that you're getting from it, and then you just share those results of what you're getting from it, and that's a good enough test. It doesn't have to always go off to, if you can afford to get soil science tested for free or whatever, then great. But remember, it's all about the microbes, the good bacteria, the fungi and things, the mycorrhizae in the soil. This is where it all counts. And just keep working on building your soil profile up, and the soil will balance itself out and become something amazing. It just takes a bit of time. My backyard was sand, and now it's just this like little paradise of food. And I started just by building the soil. I never dug a hole except when I dug a plant. And sand. Who would have thought that sandy soil would just become full of worms? It's just amazing. But yeah, I sell compost here. Reach out to me. Maybe I will make another video, some more videos, or I'll do something in the members area about buying and selling compost. Could be something that would do really well in the members area. Hello, Marty and everyone. It's my birthday today. I don't have a worm farm, but I have a large pallet compost. Add some worms to it, man. Get some in there, even like buy some cocoons or whatever. Takes a bit longer, but yeah, get them in there, man. You'll just find it'll just make a world of difference. And happy birthday. Let's give him a DJ air horn. I don't know if you're into that type of thing, so I don't know why I did that. So we'll just give you a party nose horn there. And look, I'm all a bit crazy and love having a bit of fun here on the show. And yeah, happy birthday, Rick. All the best to you, mate. James Coates. Marty, the link isn't working, says page. This page isn't available. That absolutely is just mental. So what I'm going to do is you guys are going to watch me go through this, and we are going to fix that link. Let's find out why that link isn't working, and we're going to fix it right now. Okay, memberships. Boom, boom, boom. Move it across, and we're going to go down here. Invite viewers to your channel. Let's get that link going there. We'll get it straight into, so I've got to go dashboard, content. Now stay with me, guys. Don't just bail out, because we want to get this right. This is what it's all about. We need to get this right? So if I can just get this over here, and then we'll go live shows. This is the one that's running live at the moment. We'll see if we can fix this link. Why isn't that link working? That is, this is YouTube that's doing this. This is not me, guys. So I'm going to put this link down in the description now. And then, aha, it's a broken link. that is my fault. Please stay with me. Righto, guys. Stay with me. We are going to fix this right now. And there's going to be a little bit of a reverb for a second. Now, I've saved that. It's in the description. And that must have been when I was copying and pasting it. Something's happened there. And I'm going to get a bit of reverb. So I'm going to be quiet for a second. In the description. And that must have been when I was copying and pasting it. Something's happened. Oh wow, I've been muted for ages. Looks like we would have lost that. Anyone that's stayed in there, sounds like we lost some sound there for a bit, and it would have gone off. So yeah, if you're back here and you're still here, this is really cool. It's a bit embarrassing when you lose sound and things like that, but I think what we'll do is we'll finish off very soon. We've got a Ben Marshall super sticker coming through, and for $5 from Ben Marshall, thank you so much. We just really appreciate it. You've been amazing. I need to speak with you, my friend from Simplified Gardening there, and talk about that worm farm and get things going. We've had about half an hour of silence now as Marty's way behind the chat. An admin would have been able to tell him to stop. Yeah, so that's very true. We really fell behind there, but okay, so sorry about that, my friend. 50 quid super chat, and then we didn't even get a chance to talk, but yeah, that's a real bummer. But anyway, look, what we'll do is let's have a yarn about it soon, in the near future, and we'll sort of go from there. We're back on with that now, and like I said, an admin. I need some type of admin or something like that to really change things up. He says yes, he really needs an admin. Good people, enjoy your day or night, whatever time it is you are here. We need a lip reader. Wow. Okay, so if you're still here, thank you so much, and I'm really apologise for that. It was showing me in my microphone that it was still picking up, but then for some reason the button had been bumped and we'd lost it. And I do have an admin from time to time. Someone was ringing me on my phone, and they were probably wanting to let me know that the sound wasn't in. So, and we got cut off. So I'm really sorry, folks. I'm a bit embarrassed about that, but what can we do? These things happen. It was happened since I played with a membership and sort of things like that, and we sort of lost some things, but we're back on track now, and we have. I want to thank everyone that's done the super chat. We did a £50 super chat with my friend from Simplified Gardening, and that was just mental. And now we've still got some people here. You guys are patient, I tell you. I think a lot of people would have bailed. So, we've still got 15 people hanging on. And thank you so much for the super chat. Now we've got some applause happening here. We'll have to work on this sort of admin thing on make sure this doesn't happen again. And it's. I didn't want to answer the phone because I didn't know, and I didn't want to sort of stop on the show with that. But you should be able to be coming back through now. And we are back on. So I'm going to actually get right down to the chat now and to where we were. And we should be so I'm just scrolling back through, thinking I've been talking to myself around. Don't stress over it. Thanks, man. I get it. I get it. I'm not a perfectionist, but I get it. It's embarrassing with things like that because, you're trying to be professional. And we have these technical errors from time to time. But wifey's hassling me to go to the shops. And we've got the sound on. So what we'll do is we'll roll out for another 10 minutes. If I've missed any questions at all, We've had a rollout of super chats coming through. We had a £50 super chat come through from Simplify Gardening, and many others as well. And that's just been absolutely amazing. And so it shows that what happened is that when I looked in the chat box, I was, I'm so far behind, and so as we're doing these longer shows, I guess it falls more and more behind of what the live show timing is. So yeah, someone was obviously calling through on the phone to let me know, and so whoever that was, thank you so much, and I apologise for not answering the phone. I just thought it could have been someone. And I just, I wanted to keep it going and not, just keep things going. So we are on now, and thank you so much for that. As I said before, the £50. £50, it's the biggest super chat I've had yet. And yeah, Simplify Gardening, we'll have to get some type of logo on one of the farms or something down there or whatever, right? It's got a Simplify Worm Farm or something like that. So that's really cool. And thanks so much for not being so gnarly with me, giving me a hard time about the technical error. We've got any more questions we can roll through and go from there. And the phone rang about 3 or 4 times. And I thought, oh, man, what's going on there? But anyway, that's the way it is. So what I've got to do is I'm waiting for some questions to come through. So we'll look back at the show, and if you come in late, you would notice that, we've had a half an hour, unfortunately, where we've had a technical issue. And I think a lot of people would have, we lost a fair bit of our audience by then, but 13 of you still stayed on, which is really cool. And I think that, all right, let's get into it. We've got 10 minutes to go. We're going to finish the show off with a bit of a Q&A and stop worrying about that, right? Move forward. Don't feel bad, mate. It happens to the best of them also. What and why is worm tea, right? So worm tea, we get the castings, the finished casting from a worm farm. We put it into some water that has no chlorine in it. So rainwater is best. We highly oxygenate it with some type of bubbler. Oh, excuse me. And then we put a certain amount of sugars in. Now, the most sugars that people use would be a molasses that contains no aluminium. And then we bubble it for 24 to 48 hours, getting a lot of oxygen in it. And the microbes that are contained in the worm cast come out and leach out. They come in the water. They feed on the sugars from the molasses and then multiply, they breed and things, and then we water our gardens, our soil with it. Or we can spray it on leaves and things like that, but it works mostly better if we put it on as a soil drench and release those microbes and that nutrition back into the soil. So there we go. That's it. And if anyone else wants to add to that, please do. That would be really cool. So we've got Super Chat, another one from Ben Marshall. All good, Marty. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's been amazing, you guys, with the Super Chats and Super Figures today. The Artificial Crowd says we love you and thanks you. And, it's just been great. And Markham 3D, g'day, mate. Welcome to the show. We're talking about why it's the most important time in world history at the moment to become a worm farmer, to start off or to expand on your worm farming situation, because we need to start locking that carbon out through the plants and into the soil and store it in there, and then stop tilling all our soils. If we can do that, we can make such a big change. Now, if you notice the members area, the link is working. So if you've come in late and you haven't become a member yet, then we'll look at getting in a membership and what we'll do. Now, I may run another live show this afternoon for more Aussies, maybe on, or through the week. I need to look at a day when we're going to be running them once a week or once a fortnight. I'm going to speak more with my business advisor and things and start working on building out the memberships, connecting it all together through the Buy Me a Coffee website where people can go in and buy me a coffee They can do a donation in the members area, which is a monthly one, which only takes out about 5%, which is a little bit better. But in the YouTube one, you get access to all the videos. Now, if you have a problem finding any of the videos, just let me know and I'll send you a link in any of the chat boxes or comment one of the videos and we'll send it through. But it's quite easy to access, and they're quick little snippets of really dense content that you can take in quickly and easily. So thank you, Jackie, so much for becoming a member. I really appreciate that, and hopefully we can build that up so we can get to the next space of where we need to go. Wow, I didn't expect that. That's really cool. Much appreciated. Oh, you're very welcome, and thank you so much. I was like speaking to myself like half an hour. I could have saved all that energy if I knew that somehow the microphone had turned itself off. But we're going to work on, I need to work on this where we can get the member shows really interactive, really happening. And I probably need to have checklists in front of me and things and admins and stuff like that, and really make everything happen really great. So we've gone through, we've been going through for about an hour and a half now. And so we're going to finish up pretty soon, guys. What I do is I put a sign on, the song on, and we just roll out and say goodbye to everyone. And yeah, just anything that you want to say before we go, that's a really good way to do it. And I just give you a bit of a wave and just roll out the comments. So let's do that. I'm losing my voice. Again, thank you everyone for coming and attending the show and being a part of it all in so many ways. You guys have just been amazing. Thank you so much. Great day. Roll out these comments. You guys say goodbye to each other.
There's a gentle breeze. All the birds are making homes inside the evergreens. The air is clear with our loved ones close. You can pick out every star without a telescope. So beautiful to see how we have changed. In time, you know, everything we've lost comes home again, and I will grab onto your arm a little stronger than we were before. I've missed your face. Has it been that long? Looking forward to a fire and a sing-along. Let's stay the same as the children grow, and teach them all the simple things we thought we used to know. So beautiful to see how we have changed. In time, you know, everything we've lost comes home again.
Thanks everyone for coming to watch the show. Man, you guys are awesome. So patient with me. Such an awesome community. I'm totally lost for words. And yeah, we'll be in touch. Got some more videos coming out. Trying to produce 2 a week at the moment. We might go to 1 live show a week and then 1 like longer form vlog through the week, and then work on expanding out this system that I want to grow. I've got to get it happening, guys. So thanks for your support. Have a great day. Happy worm farming to you all, and I'll see you at the next video live show real soon. I'm losing my voice, so I gotta go, guys. Bye for now.